I'm Rose Della, the Artistic Director and Principal of the Center for Indigenous Theatre. CIT is a post-secondary performing arts training center. We offer a 3- and 4-year full-time conservatory-style education. Our program is designed to connect theater training with traditional and contemporary Indigenous cultural practices, to advance artistic development, industry and business practices, and ultimately to cultivate professional opportunities. You will come here to train, to learn, to grow, to become the emboldened and inspired voices of tomorrow, the new generation of passionate Indigenous culture creators, to tell your stories in your voice.
Bonjour, Bidwa a Gijgokwe Dijnakas, Megazed Dodem. We are grateful to live and work and learn on this land and acknowledge the traditional caretakers of this land. The Huron-Wendat, the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Anishinaabe. Chimigwech caretakers, Chimigwech Kakamekwe.
Welcome to Center for Indigenous Theater's program info session. My name is Dane.
And I'm Francis. We are current students at CIT. We're happy to have you to join us today.
We're here today to answer all of your questions about our school and how you can become a student in our classes. Have you thought about pursuing a career as an artist? Let us know in the comments.
If you're watching us right now, you probably already have some questions in mind about the Center for Indigenous Theater and what we're all about. Feel free to leave those in the comments too.
We'll start with a little history on CIT and show you what the program and school year may look like. Then we'll go over our COVID-19 health and safety protocol, as well as how to apply and get into the program.
During our short time today, you will also get to view a feature of our first in-person showcase in the last 2 years. Also, we were able to sit down with Joel Chiefmoon, so stay tuned for those clips.
Let's jump in with a brief history lesson. CIT was founded by James Bueller and was originally a 6-week program called Native Theater School. The Native Theater School was then renamed Center for Indigenous Theater in 1994. We went on to become a full-time program in 1999. We then expanded to a 3-year program in 2002 and then added a 4th year in 2018.
If you're still wondering what we're all about, CIT is a post-secondary program that provides training in acting, voice, and movement. We also offer cultural classes that are focused on dance, song, and oral history. We have partnerships across Canada that we will share different experiences with throughout the year. We offer opportunities for land-based teachings with the Bajamajig storytellers in Manitowanin and Anmatogzi in Nipissing First Nation.
Now it's time for a feature from last year's December's production.
When my cue comes, call me, and I will answer. My next is most fair pyramids. Hi-ho. Peter Quince. Flute the bellows bender. Snout the tinker. Starveling! God's my life, stolen hence and left me asleep. I've just had the most rare vision. I've just had a dream. Pass the wood of a man to say what dream it was. Man is but an ass if you go about to expound this dream. But methought I was. Eeyore! No. There is no man that can tell that. But methought I was, and methought I had. But man is an appatched fool if he were offered to say what methought I had. The eye of man hath not heard, the ear of man hath not seen. Man's hand is not able to taste, nor his tongue to conceive what methought I had. I will get Peter Quince to write a ballad of this dream. And it shall be called Bottom's Dream, because it hath no bottom. And to make it more gracious, I will sing it at the latter end of the play, peradventure, before the Duke. And to make it more gracious, I shall sing it at her death.
He just had scars and never felt a wound. But soft. What light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief. That thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vessel livery is but sick and green, and none but fools who wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady. Oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses. I will answer it. I am too bold. 'Tis not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all the heavens, having some business, do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, and they in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars, as daylight doth a lamp. Her eyes in heaven that through the airy region stream so bright, that birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she rests her cheek upon her hand. Oh, if I wear a glove upon that cheek, that I may touch that hand.
Gallop apace, you fiery-footed steeds, towards Phoebus' lodging. Such a Wagner as Phaeton would whip you to the west and bring in cloudy night immediately. Spread thy close curtain, love-performing night, that runaway's eyes may wink in Romeo. Leap to these arms, untalked of and unseen. Lovers concede to do their amorous rites by their own beauties. Or if love be blind, it best agrees with night. Come, civil knight, thou sober-suited matron all in black, and learn me how to lose a winning match, played for a pair of stainless maidenhoods. Hood my unmanned blood bathing in my cheeks with thy black mantle, till strange love grown bold, think true love acted simple modesty. Come, civil knight, come, Romeo, come thou day and night, for thou wilt lie upon new wings of night, whiter than new snow on a raven's back. Come, gentle knight, come, loving black-brown knight, and bring me my Romeo. And when he shall die, Take him and cut him out in little stars. And he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garish sun. I have bought the mansion of love, but not possessed it. And though I am sold, not yet enjoyed, so tedious is this day as is a night of some festival to an impatient child that hath new robes and may not wear them. Oh, here comes my nurse, and she brings news. Anyone that speaks but Romeo's name speaks heavenly eloquence.
My mistress with the monsters in love, near to her close and consecrated bower, while she was in her dull and sleeping hour. A crew of patches, rude mechanicals that work for bread upon Athenian stalls, were met together to rehearse a play intended for great Theseus' nuptial day. That shallowest thick skin of that barren sort, who Pyramus presented in their sport, forsook a scene and entered in a break. Zut! When I did him at this advantage take, an ass's null I fixed on his head, and on his dispy must be answered. And forth my mimic comes, when they him spy, as wild geese that the creeping follow awry, or russet padded coughs, many in sort, rising and cawing at the gun's report, sever themselves and madly sweep the sky. Here o'er and o'er one falls, he helps and murder cries, of Athens calls.
Nay, sure, he's not in hell. He's in Arthur's bosom, if ever man went to Arthur's bosom. He made a finer end and went away, and it been any Christian child. He parted evening, between 12 and 1, evening at the turning of the tide. For after, I saw him play with the sheets and play with the flowers and smile upon his fingers' ends. I knew there was but one way, for his nose was as sharp as a pen, and he babbled of green fields. How now, Sir John? Quoth I. What, man? Be a good cheer. And he cried out, God, 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 3 or 4 times. Now I, to comfort him, bid him he should not think of God. I hoped he would need not trouble himself with any such thoughts yet. So he bade me put more clothes on his feet. I put my hand into the bed and felt them, and they were as cold as any stone. Then I felt to his knees, and so upward and upward, and all was as cold as any stone.
Back to our program. Here's the outline of our current school year. The first cohort of first-year students started in September. We began with an orientation period of CIT and Toronto. Students then enrolled into a full-time training with a winter break in between our studies. We are now continuing our training from January until May, leading up to graduation.
Due to COVID-19, special protocols have been put into place. This includes, but is not limited to, mandatory social distancing, facial coverings, as well as sanitization and screening before entering CIT studios. The health and safety of our students, faculty, and staff members is of the utmost importance.
That may leave you wondering what your classes schedules might look like during the school year. As our current health and safety regulations continue to develop, your training may be influenced by COVID-19 related provincial guidelines. Here are your schedules. As you can see, we've had mostly in-person training this year.
You will have a variety of classes at CIT throughout the year, such as dance, voice, physical theater, singing, and story creation.
It's now time for an interview with Joel Chiefmoon, an alumni and current fourth-year student.
Well, my name is Joel Chiefmoon. I'm from the Blood Reserve. I'm Blackfoot. I'm a musician, so I play music, and right now I've just been hunkering down because of the pandemic and hoping we're in the clear soon.
Yeah. When was your first time hearing about CIT?
I was at the University of Lethbridge, and I think it was in 2011 or 2010, one of those years.
Okay. Cool.
And it was Troy Twig. He used to be a faculty member with CIT, and he was also working with at the University of Lethbridge, and I had performed my violin for one of the Native Awareness Week that they usually have. And then he approached me and said, well, there's this summer school that they have that the Center for Indigenous offers at the U of L. And it's a 3-week intensive. And then so as it got closer, he let me know more and more till he eventually convinced me to join. And so I did the summer theater intensive at the U of L. That was my first time ever with CIT.
Nice, that's awesome. Can you describe what the summer program was like then?
Well, naturally, I'm very shy. And so for me, it was like really out of my comfort zone. And there's a few times where I thought it was too much, where I couldn't handle it. But as I just pushed myself, and as the weeks got by, it got easier and easier. And it was the first time that I ever like talked on stage or, did anything. Usually when I perform, I just have people introduce me. And so here's blah, blah, blah. He's going to play blah, blah, blah. And I'll play, bow, and get off. But this is the first time I ever had to actually like had dialogue and spoken word in front of people. And so that kind of helped me get over the shyness. And it was something I've never experienced. Like I've never been in theater before that.
What kind of things did you take from the program that helped you prepare you for your career in the arts?
Oh, well, first of all, it kind of cemented that this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life now. And it's something that I want to do. But it also helps me to like really focus in like just day-to-day things, to get past like, especially like emotions, dealing with emotions, learning how not to let them get the best of you. And like I'm an asthmatic, so it really helped. Like the physicalness of theater really helped on my end, and so that kind of lessened the my symptoms, which was great. And it also encouraged my mind to kind of work differently rather than how on a more like, I guess, academic approach as opposed to being creative and working on your feet and just first thought, best thought, type of deal.
Thank you, Joel.
Did that inspire you to want to apply? Let us know in the comments below. Wondering what requirements are needed to apply at the Center for Indigenous Theatre? First, you must identify as First Nations, Métis, or Inuit. You must be 18 years of age or older. You need a grade 10 English level or higher. And you must have an interest in acting, movement, voice, self-discovery, and theater, as well as an interest in exploring Indigenous culture and knowledge.
Now that we've gone over requirements, here are important documents that you must submit when applying to the Center for Indigenous Theatre. They include an updated resume, a 500-word essay expressing your interests in theater and coming to CIT, 2 references that can vouch for your interest in theater, a photocopy of your health card, and an audition video of you doing some script work.
To help you out with your audition, we've created a how-to video. Take a look.
Hi, I'm Sam Twin. I'm a fourth-year student here at Center for Indigenous Theatre.
Hi, I'm Teresa Cutknife, and I'm also a fourth-year student at the Center for Indigenous Theatre.
We'll give you some tips and tricks on how to do your monologues and get them sent into CIT.
Yes, so first find an age-appropriate monologue for yourself. Use something from the Indigenous canon, something like from Thompson Highway, Drew Hayden Taylor, Kenneth T. Williams. Do you have any more?
Keith Barker, Alanis King. And if you have any troubles finding anything like that, you could email CIT and we'll provide you with a monologue.
So Sam, what did you do for your audition into CIT?
I did Isaac from Thunderstick by Kenneth Williams. What about you? What did you do?
I was sent a collection of different story pieces from Coyote City. What to wear? Wear something simple, neutral colors, something that you're comfortable and confident in.
Yep. And you know, there's not really a time limit for it, but it should be around 3 minutes.
If you have any other skills that you want to show, like singing, dancing, hand drumming, anything and everything, feel free to submit it. But you do have to have a monologue.
Unless, of course, you're a storyteller and you have a story, then you could submit that instead of the monologue, but no accents, please.
And the most important thing is to have fun. And if you stumble, that's okay.
Yep.
You can do it over and over, as many times as you feel. Have any other difficulties like doing your monologue or audition?
Probably the hardest part was memorizing it all, and I had somebody film it for me. I did not know that it was best to film it with a neutral background, so I filmed it just in a living room and there was a lot of things in the background, but it worked out. And you don't need a professional camera. We're doing this on an iPhone 10. You can stack it up on some books or put it on a table, whatever you gotta do. As long as it's capturing basically from half of your torso up so we can see your shoulders and your head. You could have a relative or somebody hold the camera for you, and you could just send that into CIT.
Have fun.
These are ongoing requirements in order to remain in the program. Curious on what it takes to be a CIT graduate?
You are expected to be on time and present for all classes. You must be actively looking for funding while you attend your studies. Tuition costs each year are $3,750.
Before you go, we would like to mention that there are alternative funding options if you are unable to receive financial support from your band. There are other organizations that you could submit applications to for funding. These include, but are not limited to, Inspire Foundation, Dreamcatcher Charitable Foundation, Métis Nation of Ontario, Canada Post, Mississaugas of the Credit, other local organizations. If you are in need of funding, application assistance, contact us at the Center for Indigenous Theatre. No student has ever been turned away due to lack of funding.
Please make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and like us on Facebook to stay updated on CIT news and updates. Also, check out our website at indigenoustheatre.com.
We also would like to thank our funders. With their generous support, we are able to provide a school for our students. The Department of Canadian Heritage, the Ontario Arts Council, the Toronto Arts Council, Misway Beak Aboriginal Employment and Training, Hastings Park Foundation of Rights and Freedoms, McLean Smith's Family Foundation, and Ontario Arts Foundation.
Thank you for attending CIT's program info session. Also, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and we will get back to you.
See you soon.